Good afternoon, people, man. Welcome to the Basketball Brews Politics Podcast. I'm your host, the Mayor. This is the first episode. You know, I think it's going to be a good one. So, I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and we were just having casual conversation, you know, and we started talking about certain stuff that's going on in the world. And while I'm laying stuff out to him, and it's like he was like, yo, you very knowledgeable on what you're talking about. He was like, this stuff you're talking about, I didn't even know what was going on. He's like, I can still give my feedback to what you're saying, but it's like I had no idea this stuff was going on. So, and I've been told that by a lot of people too, though. But one thing I can say, man, yeah, because I read and I watch. This is what I do. Yeah, so I was like, I'm thinking in my head, why not start a podcast? You know, because I am the mayor. I got to inform my people, man. So, yeah, so this one here, we have a good one today. And this is like, and I've been waiting to see stuff like this. You have a liberal, left-wing journalist having a discussion on his show with a conservative journalist from Fox News. And the left hates him, Tucker Carlson. So we have Ben Smith, former New York Times journalist or columnist, whatever you want to call him. I think he just started, he co-founded a global news organization called Semaphore with somebody else named Justin Smith. So Ben Smith brings on Tucker Carlson, who they hate. So I'm gonna play the clip. It's pretty lengthy clip, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know that this was going on. So I want y'all to watch it, and I'll come back to y'all after the clip is over.
Oh, nice closet.
And Smith, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm glad you agreed to join us.
Someone just texted me and said you were pretty tough with Taylor Lorenz, which I was heartened to hear, but it's easy to hurt her feelings. So I hope you'll check your privilege.
I'm just hoping you'll let me ask questions and not steamroll me, because you're a professional and I'm not.
Well, you're the tough one, Ben.
But I have been watching your show a lot, and you spend a lot of time laughing about labels that are thrown at you: racist, white supremacist, the host of the most racist show in the history of cable television. Actually, I'd rather not ask you about the labels, but sort of give you an opportunity to talk about what you believe. And to begin with, you know, do you believe white people are superior to other races?
No, of course not. And the funny thing is, that's
let me just stop on the yes/no question there, and just to put it a little differently before you respond, which is, do you think that white people have more of a claim on America?
Superior in any way.
Do you think that white people have some claim on America that people of other races don't?
Of course not. I mean, first of all, I'm a Christian, so I think God made everybody, and therefore everyone has equal value in his eyes. That's the essential value of every person is the same. But the idea that I harbor some sort of deep racial animus is like, I mean, I think there are a lot of criticisms you could level at me. I think sometimes I overstate the case, I get pissed, I can be very nasty. You've been on the receiving end of that. I know you can vouch for that. But the idea that I mean, if you were to look at my texts or listen to my personal conversations or read my mind, you would find no instance where I'm like, I'm mad at black people. 100% of the people that I'm mad at are well-educated white liberals. In my mind, the sort of archetype of the person I don't like is like a 38-year-old female white lawyer with a barren personal life. That's who yells at me on airplanes. And so I always think people like, you're racist.
Okay, let me
Actually, I'm not mad at black people. Like, what are you talking about?
Let me show you, I think, why people react this way. I think we have a clip I just wanted to show you. Sydney, can you play that?
In political terms, this policy is called the Great Replacement, the replacement of legacy Americans with more obedient people from faraway countries.
So Tucker, what's a legacy American?
People who were born here, black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, people who are citizens, people who participated, generationally in our system. And a lot of them don't buy the program of the modern Democratic Party because it doesn't serve them. And so the center of the Democratic electoral strategy going forward, I'm not guessing, they talk about it constantly, you're a journalist, you must have noticed, is to bring in new people who will vote for them. Now that, let me just finish if you don't mind. This is not something that I made up or found on the internet. I don't even really go on the internet. This is something that Democrats, including, the architect of Obama's last victory, have talked about at great lengths in pieces, monographs, on television. They've written books about it. So this is not like some crackpot Alex Jones.
Do you think when you talk about
this is the central strategy of the Democratic Party? So to be like, I can't believe you said that. I'm putting it back to that.
You talked about generational investment. How many generations makes you a legacy American?
I'm just saying people who live here now, including immigrants.
Do you have any empathy? Do you have any empathy for somebody who sees that clip, somebody who's whose parents are from India, from China, who are Jewish, and say, "Wow, I don't think I just see that clip, and I don't really think this guy includes me in his vision of America."
Slow down. Okay. No, I don't have any, as you said, empathy for people.
Do you understand why they might think that?
Please let me, if you don't mind, if I could finish. I have no empathy for people who derive their judgments about anything from 30-second clips on Media Matters. I do an hour live every single night. If you want to know what I think, I don't know that there's anyone who's more transparent about it than I am. Not all of my views are correct. Not all of them are attractive. You may laugh at some of them. You may be offended by others, but I'm very clear about what I think. I believe that people are not the sum total of their genetics. I say that constantly, and as a Christian, I really mean it. I actually buy the kind of Dr. Seuss, version of race understanding, which is judge a person by what he does, not by how he looks. I actually believe that. I grew up in Southern California in the 70s, and I say it constantly.
You do, and yet somehow, Tucker, I guess the thing that, you have an hour every night, as you said. Let me, and I want to move on to some other questions.
Okay, don't filibuster me.
You are misunderstood, perhaps, in your view a lot. Then, both by, as you said, kind of the New York Times, but also you keep having sort of explicit white supremacists who have on secret message boards who work for you, and you have to. I know this has been very painful for you in some cases.
I've never even met a white supremacist.
You have these folks. You have folks who have posted. You have a large number of people: Scott Greer, Blake Neff. I'm just curious why you've been sort of flypaper for these people on your staff.
You're not asking me a question.
That was the question. Why have you been flypaper for these racists?
I've never had a white supremacist work for me. I don't think I've ever talked to a white supremacist. Please let me finish.
And I don't want to fight about labels.
Hold on, slow down. I'm not sure what that means. I know that it's a slur. It's the worst thing one can be. I don't really understand the terms, but let me just say,
you've had to let people go who said objectionable stuff.
Whoa, now, Ben. I believe that people are not defined by their race, any race, black, white, Asian, pick a race. People are defined, their value derives from A, the fact they were created by God. I believe that. Maybe you don't. I do. And B, by what they do, by the choices they make, by who they are. They have agency. They're not part of some larger group. They're individuals. I believe in the individual. And I say that virtually every night. Now, if you don't hear that, or if you, for whatever reason, want to claim that I'm some racist, I don't know what to say to you. I'm stating my sincere views as reflected in my personal life and my professional life as clearly as I can.
Do you feel that in your own career you've been kind of discriminated against as a white Protestant?
No.
And I ask in part because I had been told that Roger Ailes, and that you'd sort of at some point expressed that Roger Ailes, the former head of Fox, had a preference for Irish Catholics, and that it kind of held you back. Was that?
I've been held back. And by the way, I can say this sincerely, if I could, that I've never in my life been unhappy except because of self-pity. Self-pity is, I'm speaking for myself, but I think it's true for most people. self-pity is the root of misery. And so I really try not to feel self-pity. I have no grounds for it anyway. I've had a wonderful life. I have an unusually happy family. I live where I want. I say what I want. You know, I'm blessed, unlike a lot of journalists who are leading miserable lives. So, but I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't feel I've been discriminated against. But I do believe in fairness, and I don't think you should ever hire someone on the basis of his race or sex. That's grotesque to me. It's a violation of the basic promise of the country, which is we're going to bring people from around the world who may look different, be from different backgrounds, but we're going to treat them all the same, which is to say specifically on the basis of their ability and their virtue, on the choices they make, not on the genes they have. That's Nazi shit. I'm against that. I'm serious.
Let me ask you about a different subject, which is January 6th. And I think...
Well, no, I kind of like this stuff. You're not responding to me.
No, I'm not responding to you. I'm interviewing you.
Does that sound racist to you? You've just suggested I'm a white supremacist.
You know, I found that clip disturbing. I think the language of replacement theory, which you've popularized, the language of replacement theory is like specifically the language used by neo-Nazis to recruit people to their cause. It has been, obviously, I'm not suggesting some straight line between words and actions, but it is the phrase that has been used by mass shooters. I wonder if you don't have any compunction or regret about popularizing that?
This is why you are considered correctly a propagandist and not a journalist, because I just explained in detail, with total sincerity, what I believe. You ignored it and invoked mass shooters. So that's not what you just did.
I asked you how you felt about it. I actually do want to ask you about something. I'd like to ask you about something that actually I think we probably have more common ground on.
How ridiculous you are, and I think it's evident to any fair person watching.
I guess I'm trying to give you an opportunity to respond to things that have been said and written about you. But let's move to something. But I'm really not looking to have a.
Does this sound like a racist ideology? And you're like, I'm disturbed by the Media Matters clip for 8 seconds. Like, are you being serious?
Can we talk? I would love to talk about something that I think maybe that we can.
Yeah. So you saw that. See, his first question was, "Do you think white people are superior?" So they're already trying to. I guess if you look at it from the liberal side, he confronted Tucker on his racism in the quote unquote, if you want to say that. But come on, man, we already know the game they was going to try to play. Just a typical liberal tactic. You see how he asked, "What is a legacy American?" He brought up the whole great replacement theory. Like a 30-second media clip that just so-called hurt Ben Smith's feelings. Oh, I find it disturbing. Bro, you a grown man. So Tucker explains. He asked him what a legacy American is. And he said anybody who was born here and all that. Black, white, Asian, Indian, it doesn't matter. But typical. The left sees that or takes it and run with it, meaning, oh, a legacy American, he must be talking about white people only. What? But Tucker explains his beliefs sincerely. And about the great replacement theory, he says this about it. Tucker does. So the center of the Democratic electoral strategy going forward is to bring in new people who will vote for them. That is what they're doing. And he said that is what liberals talk about. They talk about it. So I'm trying to figure this out, and it's true. I'm gonna put a clip up in a minute. But yeah, a legacy American is anybody, man, that was born here. Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, has a legacy in America. That's too easy you can't get past that. So that's just. But yeah, here check this clip out of these Democrats talking about, if you want to say great replacement theory is basically demographic change. They're talking about it. They want it to happen. So again, that's why they want all this illegal immigration. But take a look.
increasingly coming out into the open.
In a few years, we're going to be a majority brown country. White people will not be the majority in the country anymore.
This will be the first generation ever in American history in which whites will be a minority of the generation at some point.
As of 2007, every year, babies being born in this country, whites now are the minority.
In 2044, everyone is going to be a minority.
As the demographics change, as white people become the minority in the country, which is coming.
Demographics is destiny.
Demographics is destiny.
Demographics is destiny, right? The country is changing. I've been saying it here. Other people have been saying it here for years now, even before Donald Trump. The demographics is destiny.
The white population is declining for the first time in history in America, while the number of multiracial Americans have more than doubled.
So we live in a country where the demographics are changing. It's becoming less white.
Correct.
Okay, you'll be announcing that we're calling the 38 electoral votes of Texas for the Democratic nominee for president. It's changing. It's going to become a purple state and then a blue state because of demographics, because of the population growth.
The growth in Texas has been almost entirely driven by non-white population growth, mostly by Hispanic and Latino population growth.
The idea that whites will not be the majority, I mean, it's an exciting transformation of the country. It's an exciting evolution and progress of our country in many different ways.
The white population is declining. It was always on the upswing. So that speaks to the beautiful diversity of America. It speaks to how that population, the demographics, will weigh in politically.
I believe anybody who acts as a replacement is to blame, not for this particular crime, but it's for no purpose, except profit and or political benefit.
Yeah, so it's right there, plain as day. Like, it's right there. That is what they want to do. So just like in New York, they allowing non-citizens to vote, and the mayor supports the bill. So it's like, come on now, people. Like, sooner or later, they're going to start allowing illegal immigrants to vote. That's why they won't open borders. That's what we need to get past. But yeah, I don't know. Democrats think we stupid. I just don't get it. So yeah, gaslight the American people, and then people fall for it. So it's gonna be the same thing whenever the presidential election comes back around. They're gonna play the racism, and then it's gonna get black people and other people, I guess other people of color. Yeah, it's just gonna be bad, and I hope that doesn't stir. Because if you look on the street, more people are seeing what the Democratic Party is doing. But I think when times come around, it's gonna be the same thing that like happened in 2020. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this video. It's my first episode. Let me know what I can improve, and if you like it, like the video, subscribe. As again, I'm the mayor. Always read and watch. I'm out, folks.